4.5 million Canadians voted for change. They were tired of the same old debates, the same old divisive politics, the same old scandals.
Why our party was founded 50 years ago by the CLC and the CCF. We had a shared vision, a vision of a prosperous and progressive country where everyone shared in the wealth that we all produced.
Our Together We Can Do This video ad had over 9 million views on YouTube, and that's in one day.
It's our understanding that Robert's Rules defines a day as 24 hours, and we just want to get clarification on that. So please just sit tight for a moment.
The NDP has always stood up for working people. And working people themselves have been standing up for the NDP as well. In every election, union members have been key parts of NDP's organizational backbone, providing organizers, campaign managers, canvassers, and candidates, and providing individual financial donations.
Can you share with us some of your experiences as a young woman in the House?
Absolutely. Well, I have to say, first of all, that I am so happy that the record of the youngest woman in the House has not only just been broken, it's been shattered, thanks to the new team of not just young people, but young women that are representing us as New Democrats in the House of Commons.
Right past the Liberal ship of fools. I mean, their boat is so full of holes, it's up to the gunnels in water. They're bailing like crazy, and there's still a bunch of mutineers down below boring brand new holes in their hull. We'll go sailing right past them. We'll go sailing right past Captain Crunch and his grumpy old guys and their pirate ship. Because, you know, we've all read Tommy Douglas's book, The New Jerusalem. Well, I'm telling you, brothers and sisters, it's on the horizon. I can see it. It's within grasp. We're almost there. All we have to do is a few simple things to change the language so that we don't scare people. We want a modern, progressive, stable, majority, social democratic government. Let's tell people what we intend.
But after that May 2nd election disaster, the Liberals are in such a terrible hurry, they picked Bob Rae as their acting leader. Since 2003, when we chose our leader, Jack Layton, the leader of the official opposition, the Liberals have 6 leaders.
And now, the results of the leadership review. 97.9% of delegates do not want a leadership race to be held.
More than ever before, your New Democrat caucus will be able to fight for accessible education, for affordable internet, to ensure Canada's place in the world, and to keep our air and water clean.
We will not allow Insight to be shut down. We will not allow the war on drugs and the Conservatives' agenda against poor people and drug users to go ahead. And this is a symbol of the battle that we've had against this war on drugs, which is a war on poor people.
Stuck under a glass ceiling. I prefer to consider it a skylight that we're well on our way to smashing through, because not even the sky is the limit for women.
That she is going to fight, she's going to give them hell, because hell is precisely what these cons deserve. For 5.5 years, I watched their assault on women in this country, on their equality. It started in 2006 with their insidious budget, aided and abetted by Liberals in the House of Commons, and it continued with budget after budget.
Those Stephen Harper Conservatives have some very anti-democratic tendencies, and we all have to be vigilant about those.
Can we now proceed to a vote on that motion?
Okay.
The motion is proposed. I do apologize to the delegate. I think I perhaps should have mentioned this yesterday, but the procedural convention on this is that a day's notice is required. That's in our Constitution. This motion was, notice was given, delegates, please. Notice was given yesterday at around 2:30. We haven't reached those 24 hours, so unfortunately I have to roll you out of order. Thank you.
If we're going to follow Robert's Rules of Orders, and I'm sure we should, when it's not covered in our own Constitution, then we should follow them all the way. When a chair is challenged...
Hasn't this been a great convention? So many new faces, so much energy, and so much excitement. After all, there are 103 of us in Parliament, and that is due to you.
And we will get elected as a federal government with Jack Layton as our Prime Minister in 2015. Thank you very much, brothers and sisters.
You elected MPs to reflect our diversity, and for that, I thank you, and my grandchildren thank you. You elected Chinese Canadians, South Asian Canadians, Vietnamese Canadians, North African and South American Canadians, First Nation and Innu. Each and every one now have a seat in the New Democrat aisles in the House of Parliament.
Bonjour, mes amis. Good morning, my friends.
We all know that the Conservative government has, if I may use a more down-to-earth term, hate on for the CBC. And it's something that we need as the NDP to fight against.
And that it is imperative upon us not just to support soldiers who are sent to war, whether it be against their will or not, but in supporting them to have the same rights as all other workers, the right to safe work, which cannot exist in active conflict.
First Nation schools are suffering dramatically. We have not had an increase in funding for 22 years. Many of our schools can't even afford to, never mind the drinking water and the materials and the resources, or to hire qualified teachers, because we don't have the money to do it. We need an increase in elementary and secondary education.
Because the young people joined a party not because of orange color, but because of the realities that stood behind that party, and because of the kind of the party that was. For the young.
Even though we may come from many different backgrounds, we all share a common purpose: to get results for the people we represent, pulling together for a better and a more prosperous country for all Canadians. It's the New Democrat way. It's my privilege to welcome my friend, our leader, Canada's leader of the official opposition, Jack Layton.
You'll be a bright light coming out of the dark. All the doctors blinking hard. You'll be lightning coming out of the storm. It's a message, it's a miracle.
Let me tell you a little story here. My friends Lyle and Vera Christensen celebrated their honeymoon at our founding convention 50 years ago. And they are with us here today. Where are you, Lyle and Vera? And Lyle went on to become an NDP Member of Parliament as well. And they always say you got a 2-for-1 because Vera would be right there doing 50% of the work. Well, you know, I couldn't help but note that at the Conservative convention last week, Stephen Harper said something about how he was just going to wait around for the New Democrat honeymoon to end.
Well, no honeymoon passes as quickly and as completely as one with the NDP.
Well, Lyle and Vera's honeymoon has been going on for 50 years now.
In the preamble to its constitution, there was a proposal to remove the term socialist from the preamble, and that did not pass. It did not fail. It was put off to the executive committee of the party. They will conduct further consultations with the party and come back to the next convention. James Moore, somehow I don't think you share the same level of enthusiasm for this convention, but what are your reactions to what you've heard here and what's gone on here from a Conservative point of view?
Yeah, I think actually you just summarized it very well. I would package it a little differently, which is to say they don't know if they want to continue calling themselves conservatives or socialists, but they don't know if they want to merge with the liberals. So they have a little bit of an identity crisis here, is that they come in here united, celebrating 50 years of history, official opposition, 103 seats, but they can't decide whether or not they want to merge with the liberals. They don't know. They're divided on that.
The NDP to never go against the rights of our workers, our fellow workers.
1, 2,